Hey there, everybody. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day today. I certainly am because I'm in one of my favorite places ever, Cottage Gardens of Petaluma, here in Petaluma, beautiful Northern California. And in Cottage Gardens, we've got a rose area where we have gorgeous roses. And outside of those roses, we have our David Austin section. And that is my absolute favorite part of all of Cottage Gardens right now. And that's what we're going to focus on today. But not just David Austin roses in general, but the 5 most fragrant David Austin roses that you can grow. I want to focus on fragrance for a bunch of reasons. We garden for our senses, quite often for the beauty that we see out there in the garden. Touching is another really good one, the sense of peace and tranquility that you get from them. But for a long, long time, fragrance was kind of getting lost in the whole rose world. The breeders were breeding for form and longevity in a vase and all sorts of things. Beauty in the garden, longevity in the vase. But luckily, David Austin started reviving the whole thing about fragrance. And oh my goodness, every one of his roses have some kind of a fragrance. I cannot even think of a single David Austin English rose that doesn't have a fragrance, but they vary in intensity. And I'm picking the most intense ones today to tell you about. And just say you only have space for one rose in your garden, you're going to have really fun time choosing between which one of these you're going to grow for fragrance. So let's get going. All right, let's start with Strawberry Hill. Strawberry Hill is one of my favorite roses anyway, even if you didn't get that incredibly strong scent of myrrh that comes off the blooms. It's a climber, so really, really wonderful if you're going for that vertical garden look, or you have a fence line that needs covering up with beauty, or a pillar or a post, or simply an obelisk. So you get that tall, shapely, gorgeous shrub covered with absolutely amazing pink blooms that are full and double and full of petals. I do have this in my garden already. I've planted it on an obelisk, which only is about 8 feet tall. This beautiful rose, Strawberry Hill, wants to get to about 10 feet. So it's going to be a little bit of pruning. It is a little bit of pruning every year to keep it within the shape that I want it. But that doesn't bother this rose at all. So many beautiful blooms, so many throughout the year. It's a repeat bloomer. With deadheading or without, it does keep wanting to produce blooms. And oh my goodness, the fragrance. Absolutely amazing. So Strawberry Hill, number 1. You need to grow this if you love pink and you love fragrance. Okay, let's go find the next one. I mean, they're all beautiful. You can't go wrong with any of them, but I'm trying to stick to the most fragrant, not just fragrant, but the most intense fragrances ever. All right, Golden Celebration. So, perfect contrast to that beautiful Strawberry Hill back there, which is pink, really luscious pink. We've got Golden Celebration, which is a gorgeous golden rose. On the flat side ever so slightly, but beautifully cupped, very high petal count, and a gorgeous fragrance that you are just going to love. I think it's slightly citrusy, but the label says strong tea. As you know, fragrance is very personal. Some of us have a preference for certain fragrances. We all seem to smell things ever so slightly differently anyway. I had one customer come in recently. The only rose that made her actually feel good, the only scent of any rose that actually made her feel good, was the scent of Ingrid Bergman. I thought that was super interesting, but it really went to show that we all experience fragrances a little bit differently. I smell Golden Celebration as a citrusy sort of a scent, and yet David Austin says strong tea scent. So maybe we're talking about the same thing. Maybe the tea that I'm smelling is Earl Grey or something, which does have a little bit of citrus in it. There you go. I just figured that one out all by myself right there. But back to the actual rose itself. Golden Celebration is a beautiful rose. It is big and bushy, very lush, very sort of rambly, and the roses are held nicely above the foliage, and they are rich and golden and gorgeous. Repeat flowering, easy to grow, incredibly fragrant. Gabriel Oak, intense pink, absolutely stunning rose. And how big does this get? About 4 by 4, and it's well behaved. I've talked about Gabriel Oak before because it was one that I added to my garden, I think 2 summers ago. I love how it behaves. Even 2 years in, it's not sending out rambly arms. Not that I would mind that too much, but it's well behaved, which isn't always the case with all of the David Austin roses. Easy to forgive though. I think they're all spectacular. But there's something about the intensity of the color of Gabriel Oak that I really, really love. It is just so, you know, you're walking through your garden and you've got subtle colors here and there, and then bang, the drama of the color of Gabriel Oak just stops you in your tracks. And there's some pinks or magentas that are almost too hot pink. This isn't the case. It's really, really a rich color, and it's very, very healthy foliage. So really dark green foliage, bright, bright, deep magenta pink blooms against that foliage. So right there you're getting that drama too. And then on top of all that, a very strong fragrance of fruit. So to me it's like a blend of apple and melons and a little touch of citrus in there too, and maybe like raspberries. So you're getting all of those beautiful fragrances from that one rose. And you know I love bringing David Austin roses indoors. So you have a handful of these, your whole living room smells absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And you know how much I love the Elizabeth rose? I also added that at the same time as Gabriel Oak. Elizabeth is incredibly fragrant too, and also really disease resistant. It's the one that you can actually put in a little bit of shade and it's going to be okay. It's not going to get a fungus immediately. And it has the most gorgeous flat-faced open blooms in pink with a touch of apricot. It's a very pale pink. And it's another pretty well-behaved rose, though, let's see, what does it say? 4.5 feet by 4.5 feet. In my garden, it did do that thing where it shot one major branch going up and the other one sort of sideways. Then I pruned it pretty hard at the end of the year, made it behave very well the next year. Tons of blooms, very good repeat bloomer, and the fragrance is very, very sweet. There's a sweetness to it. And I don't know, have a look at this picture over here. To me, the way the flower looks, it's almost like an onomatopoeic thing, where the fragrance matches the blooms. Sweet, old rose, old-fashioned, very sweet scent, almost honey-like. So that is an incredible one too. Really gorgeous. Now I wanted to find, this is a new one which I haven't grown yet. It's called Bring Me Sunshine, so I love the name. Absolutely love the name. So this is number 5, and I'm going to round it out right here and try to keep it to 5 and not wander off. But it's Bring Me Sunshine, another large shrub that would be absolutely stunning back at the border or in a meadow garden or some kind of informal setting with gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful golden flowers, different from Golden Celebration, a little tighter, a little more quartered, and just, it looks stunning. I saw it at a trade show once, which of course at trade shows, they're always going to tidy them up and make them really, really tidy and gorgeous. So I am going to have to try this one out. But yeah, 4 by 4 is what they say. It's going to be interesting to see what it does in my garden. Quite often they get bigger than any of the signage or labels say. But the fragrance is divine. Even at a trade show, even indoors, which is not the best place to get a fragrance, the fragrance of this guy was totally beautiful. And they're saying medium strong myrrh. It was strong. It was an intense fragrance, even indoors. That tells you a lot. Controlled environments don't always lead to the best fragrance. I find afternoon is the best time to really inhale the fragrance of a rose. The sun's been hitting on it. The bees already have found it. I think the roses release their best fragrance in the afternoon. So yeah, that's what was a surprise to find it at a trade show being as fragrant as it was even then. So yeah, I will be adding Bring Me Sunshine to my garden as a test. Let's see how it does. Okay, there we go with the 5 favorite fragrant David Austin roses I wanted to tell you about. And now, how do you grow a David Austin rose? Same as the other ones. What you're going to want to do is find a nice, bright, sunny spot in your garden. 6 to 8 hours of sun is ideal for all roses. The sunshine is good for a number of reasons. They're happier, but some of the pinks and some of the whites can put up with a little less sun and a little more shade if you don't have that 6 to 8 hours of afternoon sun to give them. The other thing you need to do with your David Austin roses when you're planting them is plant them in a gopher cage. Don't forego that gopher cage if you've got gophers anywhere in your garden. You do not want to grow this rose, have it grow up, be gorgeous, blooming, and then come out one morning and the poor thing is just keeled over dead. I've experienced it. It is horrible. You're so attached to this rose already, and the gopher ate the roots. It is horrendous. Anyway, so gopher cage if you have gophers. The next thing, you're digging that hole one time. You want to prep the soil, prep that location to house this rose for years. Roses live a really long time, and you want to get it off to the best start possible. So what I love to do is dig that hole, get that native soil out, mix it up, 50% good rich compost such as soil booster, a couple of handfuls of really excellent time release fertilizer, and then you plant that rose in that 50-50 mix that has the fertilizer added. Pop it right in there. You never want to plant it too deep. Some of these roses are on own roots, some are grafted. We're aiming for the rose that you bought, not the graft rose, as lovely as it is. So plant it a little on the high side, never too deep, and keep an eye on that going forward. Sometimes mulch can cover up the crown and you end up having rootstock or something. So a little on the high side, water it in well, and mulch at the end of it just to keep the moisture in and the weeds away. So pretty simple, just like all your other roses. You're going to plant them just like that. And I do believe I have a rose planting video in my repertoire, which we will track down, add on, and go check that one out. And you'll find out exactly how to plant a rose. And what I'm remembering, that was a David Austin rose. It sure was. You can tell I am pretty obsessed. So there you go, my top 5 favorite fragrances in the David Austin world. And we have them all here at Cottage Gardens and more. So if you live locally, come on in and pick out one. Maybe you'll find a different one you like even better, but those are my top picks. So there you go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following. I really enjoy telling you all about my favorite roses and everything else I talk about. I love this, and I love your comments. So if you've got a favorite fragrance among the David Austin roses, drop me a line, let me know what you think. And let me know if you've ever grown any of the ones I just talked about, and what's your experience? Because I would imagine there may be a different intensity of fragrance depending on where in the country that you grow them, and I would love to hear about that. So if you have any questions, any comments, drop me a comment, like, share, subscribe for more content. Find me on Facebook or Instagram, but the best thing of all is to come on into Cottage Gardens and say hi. I would love to see you. So till next time, have a wonderful week and happy gardening.